what we have done through the research is, okay, so for most of the flats, almost 2/3 of that, we could come up with something called foyer entrance. So it's like a exclusive separate entrance which steps aside from the corridor. Again, greatly enhancing the arrival experience of your particular unit, and at the same time, it sort of addresses the privacy quotient, right? So the minute you open the door, you have like a chota sa angan types, what we used to have in when we used to have like independent houses. So to bring in that aspect. So the foyer-based entrance was something which we could come up with as a product feature at the tower plan, and again, hugely we got very positive feedback on this. And next thing, again, to address on the privacy side, has been the no opposite main doors. Again, this is something which a lot of when we were doing research, our customers were sort of have cited this as a requirement and sort of a good to have feature, right? So again, we strived hard to design that, because that no main door looks into the other apartment. So you open the door, so you can keep the main door open, and your flat would be much more well ventilated, and it sort of, you can feel, I mean, by even keeping the door open, you will not really lose the element of privacy. So at the tower plan level, the two key things what we focused in Broadway project has been the foyer based entrance, and then the entire no opposite main doors. Then we went to the next key aspect, where people, when we're talking at a floor plan level, at a unit plan level, right? So what are the key things which came up, during our focus group studies and, our one-on-one interviews? These keywords sort of emerged: lighting, ventilation, carpet area. And another aspect, let me share a story also. So when most of our customers, again, if you look at the demographic and behavioral data, have traveled world over. Most of them are working in the IT sector, right? And they have traveled abroad internationally. So when we were doing a sort of a research, one of our question was, okay, what is a good building for you? As simple as that. Like, what is your aspiration? And then we had like A/B testing, like we showed multiple images, and across various people, when we ran that experiment, many people picked buildings which were tall and had a glass facade, right? So that was something which they told was their aspiration. And in fact, even one of the question was, which is your most favorite city? The three cities which came up were New York, Singapore, and London. And what is it that you like about it when we asked that question? So people were telling, okay, I like the tall buildings, glass facade, which looks sleek and tall, right? So that's when we sort of, okay, if this is an aspiration what our customers have, then let's plan for that. How can we deliver on that? That's how the entire concept of curtain wall came. Now, okay, curtain wall is a good to have feature which sort of adds to the aspiration of people, right? Adds to the aspiration of our customers. But then does it have any other functional implication? See, one is the aesthetics, right? So you look, it's going to look good. Definitely that's a very, very important thing. But what we have realized in our research is there's a lot of utility, a lot of functional aspect also which curtain walls bring in. One, like the top three to start with, is what mentioned here, is that, see, again, when we were again doing past research, is that people wanted, okay, they loved our concept of outdoor living, which had a very big balcony, but they were like, can we maximize the carpet area? Yes, naturally. So what we realized is, okay, some of our projects which we have handed over and delivered to our customers, when we went and did the study, they're spending a lot of time in the outdoor balcony area. And there are other balconies, the smaller balconies attached to the bedroom, are not being used much. So that is when we got an idea that, okay, there is a room to maximize the carpet area. Now, balcony definitely adds a lot of utility in the sense that, what is the key aspect of a balcony? One is, balcony brings in more lighting into your apartment, right? Second, naturally more ventilation also, right? But the con side of that is your carpet area gets minimized. So when we actually started planning and brought in the concept of curtain wall, we could see that we could address the two pros and without losing on the con. That is, by giving a wall, removing the entire wall and putting a glass facade, you're maximizing the lighting. In fact, much more than what a balcony also brings in, because in this case, the entire wall is now a glass. So the lighting increased significantly, almost 30% more than what a balcony can bring in, right? Second thing was, naturally, a curtain wall, you can open the entire sliding door. So again, the ventilation, from a ventilation standpoint, you're achieving a higher open areas as well, like higher ventilation areas, so more air can flow inside out of the unit without losing the carpet area. Now, naturally, because we could bring in these two, the balcony got moved into the bedroom, thereby maximizing the carpet area. So it was I would say, I would really thank our customers for pushing us in the direction. So curtain wall sort of, with one bullet, we got all the three birds, which is we could increase the lighting, improve the ventilation, and maximize the carpet area as well. So this is what was one of the biggest advantage of the curtain wall. Definitely apart from the most important thing, which is the aesthetics. The look is going to be stunning. Right, so these are some of the views of how the curtain wall is going to look. This, in fact, this is a render from a Broadway project, right? So it looks like you're in any, world-class building in Singapore or New York. So it's got a very international urban architecture perspective. Again, at the same time, you can see, because of the large amount of opening, the amount of lighting which is going to come into your room is going to be very, very high. And you can open the entire, that frame what you're seeing, which is like a sliding door, you can open it. And then some people even had doubts, what about the safety? We open it, will we fall down? No, there'll be a glass railing right outside. That will be a safety glass. So that will act as a safety glass so you don't, you don't fall off, right? So these were some of the big advantages of this entire curtain wall, right? So let me show you some of the renders. These are some of the renders from artistic impressions from, I think, one of the master bedroom. So you can see the simply, imagine somebody in their, higher floors, or like 20th or 30th floor, and how you're going to look down on the city, right? You're going to see the entire city spring up in front of you. Right, and again, I just wanted to even show where all is this curtain wall coming at a unit plan level. So this how the yellow line what you have mentioned, that is where the curtain wall is coming in each of the unit. In fact, in most of the units, it's coming in minimum of 2 bedrooms, right? So that really enhances. In some cases, it's coming in the kid bedroom, so that really enhances the light and ventilation in those places. Right, so again, a small, so another important aspect which I wanted to sort of pull up, which we have improvised in Broadway, again, coming from a product research and adding to the ventilation of the space as well, right? So a taller space, you're going to feel much more breezy. You're going to feel, much better aerated also, right? So we have improved the, the entire slab to slab height. Standard, most of our competition is giving 3000 mm as a standard height from floor to floor. In Broadway, we have increased by 300 mm, that's almost 10%. So the floor to ceiling height is 3300 mm, that is gross. So you can see slab to slab. Clear height is going to be 3050 mm. There's going to be a slab thickness of approximately 150 to 175 mm, and then another 75 to 100 mm of flooring and whatever mortar. And then you're going to have a clear height of close to 3050 mm. So that's roughly around slightly about 10 feet, if I'm not wrong, right? Again, this also adds to the entire aspect of the space in your apartment. Right, and again, our key feature, what you can see, this has been our best seller, and it has, now that we have handed over projects which have outdoor living, we're getting great feedback from all our customers who are living there, where they're telling that whenever their guests and friends and family come over, they all intrinsically gravitate towards the big balcony, the outdoor living, and they're really enjoying that space. So again, learning from our other projects, here the outdoor living is, I would say, 15% to 20% bigger than what we have given in previous projects. Again, with the advantage of curtain wall, what's happening is all the other balconies have been converted into the room, thereby maximizing the carpet. And naturally, because we could increase the carpet, here we could negotiate and we could increase the balcony size, outdoor living size, which is almost 15% bigger than all our previous projects. So it's really going to have like your own patio in the sky, right? That's how it's going to look like. This is one of the renders what we have done to give you a perspective of this entire thing, right? It's going to look very sleek and classy. So another key aspect, picking up from the earlier aspect of privacy, where we again sort of innovated on a new concept called dual sync spaces. So when we were talking to some of our customers, especially those who were, I would say, in the 40 plus age group, were mentioning that, okay, in the current house where they are staying, when the guests come over and then they are sitting in the drawing room, there is a clear visibility to living room, thereby the entire house has to sort of become more formal. So then we sat down with this problem and see, okay, what sort of solutions can we come up? And that's what we came up with, this idea called dual sync spaces, right? So this is what the dual sync space means. You can clearly see the drawing is totally made exclusive from the entire living and the dining aspect. So that you have a guest coming over, your family life will not be disturbed. It can move on seamlessly. Again, this is something which a lot of our customers have really appreciated, and we could do it in some of the floor plans. Again, in every floor plan, it wouldn't be possible. But again, this is mainly, we saw that this requirement came in the slightly larger families and families who are more in the 40s. People probably in the 30s, they didn't really cite this as a requirement, but yeah. So we call this dual sync spaces, where you have a totally private drawing and a living space. So if you have any guests or anybody come over to your house, your family life need not get disturbed. Rest of the family need not get disturbed. So that's another key innovation what we have done in Broadway. Right, so this is again a sort of a small render on how that space is going to look like. Right, now let's get into the second aspect of the lifestyle grid. Right, the second aspect is practical luxury. As I've mentioned earlier, right, so most of our customers from a behavioral standpoint are double income households. So what happens in a double income household? Both the husband and the wife are working. So when both people are working, naturally there is a dearth of time, right? People have close to 40 to 50-hour work weeks, and then you got to manage a house, you're going to manage the entire, your daily utilities, grooming, and all of these sort of things. So again, we came up with this concept of practical luxury, where the idea was all the key day-to-day life utility services should be within 100 steps. Like within a minute, you should be able to go there. That's the idea, and that's what we call practical luxury. So let me delve into it, again coming from a customer research. So as I've mentioned earlier, right, 82% of our customers have mentioned that they're exposed to hybrid work, right? They're working, some of them are working actually, full-time work from home they are doing. Some of them are doing hybrid thing. In fact, a good number of customers, we have NRIs, right? So they were telling that when we come over, like some of them are still continuing their work in the US, or some of them when they come over here for a couple of months, they are still continuing their work, right? So again, so this has been something, a key bestseller again for us, is the entire concept of co-working space. So roughly we have given close to 9,780 square feet of plinth area in this co-working space, again split into 2 levels. Now where is this coming? This is coming in the Tower A ground floor. Again, learning from our past experience, in our previous research, we found out that whenever any amenity moves from the ground floor to the first floor, there is a drop of 83% in footfall, right? So we wanted to design the entire podium in such a way that all your most used amenities are just very close to you, that is within 100 steps, and also your entire podium becomes very active with people. So at the podium level, the society should be buzzing with social life, with people, like, with people talking to each other and, fostering new relationships. When it comes to your tower level and your full floor level, privacy becomes very important. So that's how we design. At a tower level, privacy; at the podium level, it's all about social life and the community life. So coming with that concept, the entire co-working space is located, which is approximately 9,780 square feet. You can say close to 10,000 square feet. That's located in the Tower A ground floor. So you can just come down on, in any of the tower and just walk out. It'll be hardly 100 feet, 100 steps, right? Another interesting thing also what we could see is that most of the co-working spaces, now again, another thing also what we learned over a period of years is there's no point of giving specific use spaces. The problem with specific use spaces is after a certain point, it's not really used. Like for example, let's take the co-working space, right? In the co-working space, you have workstations and you have conference rooms, right? Like a discussion room sort of thing for you to attend your Zoom calls or things like that. Most of the places we saw that, okay, when we were doing research, people are using this majorly during the, a typical office hours. That is post 6 or things like that. It's generally idle. Most of them are idle. So we thought that, okay, instead of giving separate spaces for tuitions and all of this, what does tuitions also need? It's the same ecosystem, same infrastructure. They need a sort of a discussion table and similar infrastructure which is required in a discussion room of a co-working space. So we merged this. The discussion rooms of co-working space can be booked by people who want to attend their Zoom meetings and by kids who probably want to, put their tuitions also. Thereby you make the utilization of the space much better. So more the space gets utilized, lesser would be its cost of maintaining, and it will deliver more utility, right, to wide set of audience. So learning from that experience, so we made this into a little more multifunctional space. So kids who are studying also can sort of book a discussion room, like those mini conference rooms, sort what we call, and then they can put their tuitions and all those sort of things here. So again, this is located in Tower A ground floor. And again, a small part of it is located in the Tower A mezzanine. So you can see the internal staircase. You can get on that staircase and go to the higher floor. Of course, the discussion rooms and all the minor level furniture planning will improvise with period of time. But this is to give you a broad perspective of where that space is coming and what all functionality can be done there. We are merging co-working space with the kids' tuitions. So this like a stock image. Right. Another next important thing which our households are, I've mentioned again, the fact that this I think is also coming mainly from the aspect of both wife and husband working, is that people have said that they need a space where they could sort of put their valuables. Because these days, when people are working Monday to Friday, let's say there's a party on the weekend and you have to go to the bank and bring your jewelry, right? There is no real time. I mean, you just go after coming back from office, people are tired, now you have to go to the bank. In fact, it might not, the branch might even be closed at that hours. So all of these small things add a big pain point to people's lives. So we thought we should give all these facilities should be given here. So we have provisioned space for lockers. We will be tying up with one of the major banks closer to the handover. So they will be setting up the entire infrastructure. Right, approximately 1100 square feet, what you see. Where is this located? This is located in Tower B ground floor, right? Again, a very, very important, I would say, feature which our customers wanted, especially our women customers, mainly from the point of storing jewelry and even important documents also these days people are storing there. So this again, just a stock image. Next, another important thing is the entire aspect of grooming. Apart from your monthly grooming things, which people have to go on a monthly basis and get a haircut or a shave and done. Another thing what we have been seeing of lately is this entire aspect of when people get ready for marriages, especially marriages or any events, right? It could be a birthday party or anything. There is a lot of service requirement which people are calling from, especially again our women customers require a lot of services around saree draping and that entire getting ready for the any of the event. So this spa and salon would be totally equipped to provide all those grooming and beauty services. It's approximately again 1750 square feet located in Tower B. So this is where it's right located behind the bank locker. And again, we are provisioning the space closer to the handover. We'll be tying up with a vendor, right? So whenever there's a party which you are hosting or a party which you are going to, you can simply, you don't have to really plan, go out, get ready somewhere and go. You can simply come here and get ready, or in case, most of the cases, these service providers even give the facility of sending the, their person to your home to probably help you in getting ready and all of that. Again, very, very small thing, but very, very important aspects. In fact, we take pride in designing these buildings for this nitty-gritty. It's just like how any of your car or any of your phone and all, they have multiple features which makes your life easy. Imagine like living our life without most of these quick commerce or e-commerce apps. How much difficult would it be? So same way, I think the building as a product should deliver on multiple features. So I would see them more than amenity. I would like to use the word of features. Right, this is again just a stock image. And then again, our day-to-day utilities, this has been the most important thing, supermarket. Here also we have seen that when supermarkets are right on the ground floor, people are more incentivized to move out, come to the shop and buy, rather than probably buying from their home, which also I think the service provider does. But yeah, again, you can simply come down. It can be a quick 100-step activity, and you just in 2 minutes you can reach out, buy whatever thing you need, and you can go back and continue what we're doing. Again, approximately 1430 square feet, located on the ground floor of Tower B. Again, a stock image of that. Another very, very important aspect is the entire concept of medical office and physiotherapy. So when we were doing product research, again, when we're talking with our customers, they were telling that, when our kids get sick, and some of the customers who are more in the senior, who are more like around 45 plus, they were telling that our parents stay with us. And most of the, when we dwelled into that aspect of information, most of the parents have some sort of physiotherapy needs, is what we realized, right? And because they don't really, that service is not available conveniently, people don't really end up using that, end up doing their necessary physiotherapy activities, which is sort of degrading, causing a strain on their physical well-being. So we have realized that, and also a lot of our customers who are like a primary customer, the apartment owner, they have also mentioned that these days a lot of people are playing this pickleball and paddle court, these sort of things, and they mentioned a lot of injuries and all, for which minor things, for which there is a constant physiotherapy need. So again, so that's what came up. So we have given a dedicated close to 1600 square feet of space in the Tower C mezzanine level, right, where a clinic and a physiotherapy studio can be set up. We are giving the space. Again, closer to the handover, we will be setting up with the service provider. So physiotherapy, in fact, I feel is super duper important. It's something which is a must. So, but yeah, so we could cater space for that. So that again, if there's a child who has like a general, general viral or general sickness, or nothing important like your basic, medicine related thing can all happen from here, and there'll be service providers helping you with that. So this also we found out that a very, very important aspect of modern new lifestyle, and this requirement has become very, very mandatory now. Again, a small stock image. So next, let's go to the third aspect. So we have completed the practical luxury, the second, which is more about convenience in our day-to-day life. And the third important aspect, what we took into consideration, was the social life. Again, what we could see, one break, change in behavior from the past. Probably I'm a millennial. Most of, when I see the way how my parents and they had their social life versus how we millennials are having our social life, we have friends come over more frequently. Rather than having one large party, we are having frequent small parties, right? Which could be as simple as IPL match day, or any of those sports events which happen. So we saw that these days people are meeting, instead of in large group, smaller groups, but more frequently, probably more around the weekends and long weekends type. So we thought, okay, even the social life aspect is also a very, very important parameter, and we need to have various features designed to deliver on these parameters, right? So the big and the most important thing, I love calling it the big living room. So we have 4 such rooms. All 4 put together is around 3078 square feet. So the idea of this was sort of interesting. When we asked some of our customers, they told that, okay, see, we host, and that particular audience group was senior women who were more in the age group of 55-60. They were telling that, see, we have frequent kitty parties in the community, right? And then we went and asked, okay, what do you do in kitty parties? And in fact, when a couple of kitty parties were happening, our research team themselves went, and we could see that, okay, there were around 14 to 15 people who gathered in the house. And if you actually see, the house is not built for 14-15 people gathering in the house. Of course, people can fit in the house, but it's not designed for that, right? By that, what I mean is, when we saw it, okay, people were divided into groups, and one group was sitting in a bedroom, one group was sitting in a living room, one group was sitting in a sort of the drawing room. Thereby, it led to the breakage of the groups, which led to the naturally less fun, I would say. And next, we could see that different ladies sort of did their cooking, and it was like a potluck. So we were like, okay, really people, and then when we even spoke with, I would say the 35-ish men audience group also, they were also telling, a good number of people told that we do cooking as a hobby. That was very interesting and a good sign, I would say. So that also we wanted to cater. So we realized that a lot of the current social life revolves around cooking and potlucking. So then we thought, okay, can we give a big kitchen where instead of 1, 2 or 3 people can cook, and that entire aspect of cooking also translates into that, the fun of spending time with each other. So that's how the concept of the big living room came. Essentially, in your living room, which is designed mainly for the family, right? So can roughly 4 families. That's how we sort of envision. Like, this space can, each of the living room can hold close to, I would say 10 to 15 people. So around 3 to 4 families, right? So where they can come, cook together and have their food together, and it's one. There'll be a big sized TV screen which we'll be setting up, so they can watch their game of their interest and all, and without the pain point of again cleaning that entire thing up. If the same party happens in your house, again after everybody leaves, you have to clean it up. So here this all service space. So again it will be pay on demand. So the housekeeping staff would be cleaning it. And another important thing which this also solves for in some of the communities, what we have seen is the guest rooms, which are essentially for guest stay, have been used as party rooms. One, that is not right to do. But what we have seen is, and because it's used as a party room, people spoil the entire linen there, and there's alcohol and food all across. So of course that was not the intention of the space. But what we could learn from that is, okay, these days people need these getaway spaces where they can have sort of a fun time with their friends. So that's how the concept of living room came. So now, without spoiling the guest room, people can use this space, and it's a purpose-built space. This space you can cook, and you can even you can watch a game night, you can watch an IPL match, or play cards, poker, whatever. So again, something very, very important what we have realized in this day and age, people are sort of socializing this way. Smaller groups, but more frequent. So most of us have friends over the weekend. So that's how frequent it has become. Unlike in the past where it used to be less frequent, but bigger groups, now it's smaller group, more frequent. So people can book this space using the app and use this. Something we found it could greatly enhance the lifestyle of our community members. Next, another thing what we have seen, as I've mentioned in the beginning, right? Close to 64% of our audience group in this project are people who have 0 to 7 year age group. So one of the key features of the 0 to 7 year age group, when we were further talking about their kid aspect, is that the entire concept of birthday celebration, right? If you actually see the first birthday or the third birthday is what most people have told, that we typically have a larger gathering of maybe 150 to 300 people, but the rest of the birthdays, right, it's typically small gathering. Most of the cases it's just the kids' school friends or the colony or the community friends who come over. So it's just frankly like a 30 to 40 member gathering. So now why should we, and generally this kid's birthday is something which is the most commonly used party situation. So, and what in some cases, the big party hall, or I would say the multi-purpose hall, has some other event, then the kid's birthday party cannot be celebrated. And frankly, it's a very small, typically the number of people who come here are around 25 to 30 people, mostly kids. So we thought that, okay, given that this community has many kids in the 0 to 7 year age group, what we have seen is, again, post 7, typically these birthdays come down, and after once kids have reached teen, parents have told that they typically celebrate with their friends, they go out to a mall or something. So given that there's a huge, significant number of kids in the 0 to 7, so we gave a dedicated separate kids birthday party area, approximately 664 square feet, located in Tower Sika ground floor. And this is again strategically located right outside your outdoor play area. So when we actually went to these kids birthday parties I've seen, we have realized that most of the time kids spend playing, right? and in the last half hour or something, they cut the cake and have the snacks and then they leave. So it's strategically located in between the indoor play area or indoor play zone and the outdoor play area, so that kids can run around and have their fun. Right, so again, a simple stock image. And next, another important thing, guest room. What came up in our research is our customers have told that, a good number of them are people, where their parents are not staying in Hyderabad, right? Most of the customers have told that, audience have told that their parents stay in the villages, or more so, even in case, even if it's not their parents, it's their any relatives who are coming over. Especially this requirement came from our clients who are more from the outside Hyderabad, right? North Indian or Central Indian sort of people who are not from Hyderabad. So they have mentioned that they have friends or relatives who come over to the city and they show them around, when festivals are there and things like that. So again, guest rooms is something, in this we have come up with a good ratio. So we have 9 guest bedrooms, so availability will be much, much higher. Again, this is also spread in 2 levels, the ground floor of Tower B and the mezzanine. This is a ground floor plan, this is a mezzanine plan. Again, all of them are located on the podium level itself. So that even for your guest also, they need not really know the map of clubhouse mein which floor, which corner I need to go. You just come down, you're going to find it. So it sort of is very intuitive planning, I would say. Right, and next, located in the clubhouse, we have a giant banquet hall with a pre-function area and sort of a pre-party kitchen. You can't cook there. It's not allowed from a safety standpoint, but you can do preheating and plating, essentially plating aspect. So this comes in the clubhouse. So here you can host bigger parties and you can have your guests come over. Right, and again, another very important and interesting thing, something which is my favorite in this project, apart from the big living room, is a curbside cafe. This I was inspired when I did extensive travels to Singapore over the last 2 years when I started learning more around product design. And what I've seen is, and even New York also, I've not been to London much, but one thing which I saw, which usually sort of improved the quality of life in these big cities, was the entire curbside experience. Right, you have curbside cafes, restaurants, so you have a lot of people moving in and out. So the entire vibe gets really, really super cool, right? So this idea was inspired from my travels to those places, and we have given provision for 2 F&B spaces with their respective kitchens. One's closer to handover. We'll float it out so different vendors can come and take it. So this is a curbside cafe. So, people are expected to walk to this place from the nearby neighborhood. And again, this is the access, even outsiders can use this space, which I felt was very, very important, because when we came up with the concept of cafes and, F&B, and frankly, even F&B usually premiumizes your space also. It improves the property value of the area and even the quality of life for residents. Imagine you're not cooking that day. You just want to go down, grab something. So you can come here, right? So, but the con of this, when we were seeing, is in most of the communities where they're given F&B spaces, all of them shut shop. When we went and spoken to various the facility people there, they told that kuch bhi nahi chalta hai, after 6 months everybody shut shop. So when we went into the reason of why, basically the problem was store in store. Matlab, they were only allowed to sell to the residents. And how many residents you will have? Like 885 families. How will the business run if there are only 885 customers, right? It won't run. So that's why we have planned in such a way that outsiders can also come and use, and even the residents can come and use. And even the entire security arrangement and everything also have been done by taking this constraint in mind. But this is greatly going to enhance the entire street life of that road, not just Broadway project. Right? There are a lot of apartments coming up in that road, right? So everybody can just come down, grab a coffee, and then there's co-working space. Imagine somebody working out of that wanted to discuss some idea with his friend or colleague, and he can just take this idea in the space, in this cafe here. Because again, we have seen that a lot of co-working spaces thrive when there's a cafe environment in the vicinity. So, again, the key thing what we took in mind is that each space should really benefit the other space. It's not like isolatedly giving spaces, right? So that was one key thing which we came up in our research. So how do we make sure the space gets used? It's not just, as a builder, we just design the space, we hand over and go. And if it doesn't get used, it's not really going to enhance the life of our customers, right? So we are, in our research thinking about how can that ecosystem thrive. In fact, most co-working spaces thrive when there's coffee in the vicinity, and most coffee shops thrive when there are, co-working spaces in the vicinity where upcoming entrepreneurs or people simply working from their home come grab a coffee, or they meet somebody here. So it's a sort of this is what the new trend has been coming up. So again, very, very important aspect of the social life, the curbside cafe. So some of the stock images of how it looks, and all major cities in the world, this greatly enhances city life. So in fact, this would enhance the life in that entire road, I would say, that in front, the Broadway 100 feet road, because there's loft coming up there, there's opposite projects. So everybody can simply walk. They don't even need to remove your car. I'm a big fan of walking neighborhoods. So to have a walkable neighborhood, first you need to have footpath. Second, you need to have activities or spaces where you can do activities. And restaurants are very, very important. It adds to the entire buzzing life and vibe of the street. Right, so there's just some of the stock images to give you an understanding. Next, the next important aspect has been the fitness zone, right? So again, something very, very important these days, if you see, the entire aspect of fitness and wellness both is no longer sort of a luxury. It's now become the comfort. I mean, it's now become the more mandatory item. It's no longer a sort of a wish list. Today it's mandatory. With the sort of, again, if you look earlier in the audience research, what we have published, majority of our customers are tech workers. And when they are tech workers, there's a lot of sitting, and now they say, right, sitting is the new smoking. It's not really advisable at all. So the entire aspect of your fitness and well-being, a physical well-being, is something very important. So we really want to spice up this entire thing, not just keep the monotony. So we broke down this entire fitness and wellness into two divisions. One is the aspect of sports, because what we do, we did realize, and we all also understand, playing sport is also is one of the best way to stay fit. And many people love playing sport because rather than doing your typical gym activity. So we categorize the entire fitness zones into two sections. One is your sports section, other is your more, I would say, your workout section, or your indoor, I would say, your typical gymming, right? So in the sports amenities, something which is these days quite in rage, and you see a lot of people, it's a running trend, is this entire pickleball courts, right, which are popping up everywhere in different neighborhoods, and people are blocking them and going and all of that. So we are giving 2 pickleball courts in the community, so people can again come down, book and play. And also, when I did research on pickleball, we found out that a lot of people were having minor injuries. That was also one of the triggers to have the physiotherapy studio on facility, right? So in case, God forbid, if you have some injury, there's a physiotherapy place right there. You can sort of heal yourself in maybe 10-20 days and again start playing, right? So pickleball courts we have. And then we have 3 indoor air-conditioned badminton courts located in the clubhouse. So again, badminton is also, as a lot of people locally here are big fans, and many people play badminton. So it's indoor air-conditioned badminton courts located in the clubhouse, right? Next, we have cricket nets. A lot of our younger children, and especially those who are 7+, they have asked for this. And another interesting thing also, what I was seeing is, when we spoke with customers who are 50+, good number of them have told that we played cricket when we were small, and then we left it for last 20-25 years. Now we want to get back to it, probably put a coach and learn something. So we're giving 2 cricket nets things also, cricket nets space. And then 1 full-fledged basketball court we are giving, something very used by our teen and preteen kids. This comes on the podium. This is one of the render of that space. Yeah. Next, you have the fitness zone. So this is more like your indoor workouts, right? Or what you might call typically your gym sort of things. So the gym in this is close to it. Again, it comes in Tower Seeker ground floor. See, very, very important for me personally is that we put all the spaces in the ground floor. That's been something very, very vital to my design language over the last, I would say, 2 years, right? Because there is a 81% drop in footfall. Research says that there's 81% drop in footfall the minute the space moves from ground floor to first, second, third, any floor. So we want people to use this, and we want the entire podium level to be buzzing with people and having a great vibe, a community vibe. So again, this is located in Tower C ka ground floor. You can just wear your shoes and come in 100 steps, you'll reach this place. So close to 10,000 square feet, making it one of the largest gym in the in its category, right? It's in the ground floor, and this is again in the mezzanine level. Both are in Tower C. Stock image of gyms. And then again, something which we see mainly our senior age group, audience age group do, outdoor gym. We have seen this people to be using a lot, just as basic stretches and something. So there is an outdoor gym mentioned right outside the indoor gym, again on the podium, right? And then even swimming is also a very, very important, I would say, sporting and even recreational activity. In fact, a lot of, when we were speaking with the physiotherapy consultant during the research phase, there was a lot of water-based exercise also which people were recommended to heal themselves. But nevertheless, we have a separate kids pool, approximately those are the sizes, and a giant adult pool which 33 by close to 102 feet. It's located in the clubhouse. Right, this is a small render. Then again, multi-purpose, multi-sports turf, something picking up. You see a lot of what do you say, turf grounds, they say, right, these days. A lot of turf grounds which are there in the city, which people book and go play with their friends. So we have provided one giant turf ground on top of the clubhouse, where you can play box cricket, and sort of you can even play a mini sort of a football, right? Where again, this is mainly designed with the perspective of having multiplayer sports, right? Where at least it can engage close to 10 people, 10 to 12 people. So that's located on top of the clubhouse. So you can see the entire design has taken care both from the aspect of sporting and from indoor workouts, so that you don't get bored. It could be that you might even be preparing for some game and you're using the gym to get better at that. Or a good number of people, like I know a lot of my friends who don't do any gymming and all, who simply love playing sport, and they play sport to remain healthy. So we have taken all that into care. Now, we hope a lot of them come and use this, right? There's no reason to be not using these things. This is a stock image. Right now, let me talk about the final thing, the childcare aspect, right? Again, as I've mentioned in the earlier, in the demographic and the behavioral data, a huge number of our customers, 64% of our customers have kids in the age 0 to 7. Almost, if I'm not wrong, 1/3 of them, around 33% have kids who are just born or who are just planning kids, who are in the kids planning phase. So again, we wanted to, and this even coincides with the thing of double income households, where parents have less time to take, they're more engaged with their work. And I've seen that they spend a lot of time in, frankly, dropping the kid at different, at their creche or at their, play facilities. There's a lot of time which they're losing in that way. So we wanted to bring in the entire aspect of convenience to them, so that they don't have to do all of that. And even another thing, when we spoke with especially mothers, is that young mothers, they were telling that, okay, there's always this thing back of the mind that when I drop my kid at the creche, how he or she is spending the time there, are they liking it there, or how the facility is treating them and all. In this, if you actually see the creche also, we have provided the ground floor, and the co-working space is also on the ground floor, just in the other tower. So again, probably the mother can go and see the child in like 1 minute or 2 minutes. So greatly enhancing the comfort and convenience, right? So this is a creche, approximately 2,000 square feet, located in the ground floor of the tower. Again, you see the entire amenities, majority of the amenities, we made sure that they're on the ground floor, so that people can easily use each other. Imagine like a working mom just coming down to the co-working, dropping her child at the creche, and just walking 20 steps to the co-working and working out of the co-working place, and then maybe, when she's on a break in like an hour and a half, she can just go back and see how her child is doing. It greatly adds to the mental peace and convenience. So that's how we plan. So these, and the fact that you're coming down to the co-working space, there's a better chance you're going to use the creche also. See, each space feeds into the usage of other one. So we are really, we want to build spaces which amplifies usage. So we are, so the community, when people who have bought, they can, sort of experience more value out of the product. So creche is located in Tower B ground floor. And another important data also I want to point out, when we were talking with child psychologists or creche designers, they were telling that in a lot of places, right, when the creches were given in the first floor, it was really adding first or second floor. We have seen, in a lot of places, creches are not prime spaces. So they're sort of tucked away in some corner, some cases the basement, some cases third floor of the clubhouse, never really on the ground floor. Ground floor goes for prime time activities. They have mentioned that when the creches were not in the ground floor, it really increased the, the child safety threat. Because kids, then what was happening is most of the time, the kids had to be kept in the creche space, indoor space only. But if you actually see kids in that age, they love running out. Kids in the, whatever, the 1 to 3 year age group love running out into the open. Now imagine if the creche was in the second or third floor or the first floor, how can they do that? So what happens? Naturally, they'll be just confined within the closed spaces and they will feel claustrophobic. I mean, kids are, are beings who want to keep running and moving around. So the creche designers, the child psychologists mentioned that from a safety standpoint and from a kid experience standpoint, it adds great value if the creche can be given in the ground floor. So this was taken from that research, what we did. And from then on, most of the creches, what we have given, we have made sure that it comes in the ground floor, most of them. But yeah, in this project, though, it's clearly on the ground floor. So kids can run out and it becomes a lot more simpler for everybody, I mean, for the kids and for the service provider tomorrow to operate the space, right? Just a stock image. And then next, indoor kids play zone. It's close to 3,450 square feet. Again, this is something which I got inspired from my own story. I have 2 kids, one is 5 and one is 3 years old. And one of the best activity which I do sort of monthly twice to keep them very engaged is when I take them to the mall and they play in that entire play zone. It's almost impossible to get them out of that place, right? That place really hooks them, engages them in their entire playing aspect, right? So then I got the idea that, yeah, why am I taking my kids once in 15 days? What if they could go there much more frequently, because a good number of them have even like role play based playing and all of that, right? It really engages them, that particular age group, essentially I would say 2 to 7 or 2 to 8ish. So again, so that's when the aspect of convenience. So can we bring in this play zone which are typically found in malls into a community? In fact, we are the first people to do it, and we have done it in Spire project. These are the actual photos from the project. It's always full of kids, 24. This is, in fact, this has been the space which is most used by the community members. You will always see kids playing around in that area. I would definitely recommend parents that you please, while this happens, please make sure you use the guideline of how to use. Sometimes I see people running with their shoes, it will spoil the material. But anyways, that's for a later day. So this space is something we have seen hugely, I would say, engage our kid customers, right? So, so this is given close to, if I may iterate, where is it? Yeah, close to 3,500 square feet, located in Tower C ground floor. If you just look little down in the plan, the kids' birthday play area is also there. When we actually went to these kids' play zones and we have done research, most of the times these kids' play zones get booked out for kids' birthday parties. So the typical birthday party theme these days is that, okay, you invite kids, friends to their play zone, they play for a couple of hours, and then they cut cake, eat snacks, and go. So that's the level of detail how we designed this. So the birthday party hall is also right below the kids' play area, so that they can, easily, they're right across. So it can, they can play here and then go to that place and do the rest of the activity there. So the entire, what I call sequential space planning, is something which we really put a lot of effort in this project. Yeah, so this side. And then the outdoor kids play area. There's also a big space right outside behind the Tower C. So specifically catered to the kids, outdoor kids play area. Right, and then, okay, I think it's just reiterating the kids' birthday party area, what I've mentioned earlier, right? So if you see the kids' birthday party area is sandwiched between the indoor play zone and the outdoor kids' play area, so that, you know, your child friends from, you know, the school friends or whoever, they come over, they can have a great time here. And typically these are smaller groups of 30 to 40 people, so they can quickly finish that activity in like 2-3 hours, and probably it's a much more engaging and a better way to do it than doing it in the multi-purpose hall. Imagine that's in the first floor, where will kids run and where will they play, right? So this is what I would say is the entire concept of sequential space planning, right? Kids' birthday. Now let me, again, one of my most favorite topic, arrival experience, which I'm sort of delving more into more project after project to give great experience right when you approach the property, right? So this is how a small render of how the entire, I would say, the arrival experience, the main gate part looks like. Just made like a small, I would say, visual, just to give a perspective. Let me just go back. So as you can see, right, the entire, this is the view from the street side. So it's a building, the F&B places is what you can see there. So it really invites people. See, one other thing which I really don't like, I mean, I would say more than liking, what I've seen in my travels to Singapore and New York is that buildings are really approachable. Like you can easily get into them. You don't have like giant gates or walls which are sort of pushing away people from the neighborhood. So we wanted to have an approach where the building reveals itself smaller, great entrance spaces, but lesser. I would say you can see inside, go inside, because frankly the F&B will really thrive on the great footfall. If you have a good looking space, that's great. That's usually going to increase the footfalls. Greater footfalls, better business, you're going to have better service provider. Better service provider, better, you know, more utility for the entire customers who are staying there and for the customers in that street, which will increase the property value. Frankly, in fact, now I'm doing a research on quantitative, you know, how number of restaurants really increase the property prices in that area. And there's a good correlation, right? So we are doing research on that. But yeah, anyways, more number of restaurants increase the footfalls, increase the entire experience of that particular street. So you can see the entire main part is designed as a very welcoming thing, so that anybody can come and sort of use the F&B spaces, again, without losing the aspect of safety and security, right? In a later, we have taken care that, you know, at various aspects, even the safety and security aspects are met, because strangers cannot walk into the building. So we have designed in such a way that both are taken care, right? Just like that. So this is again a small, I would say, diagram of how logistics and movement happen. As you can see, the golden line, that is a cafe entry where people can get dropped off and move. But frankly, this is mainly designed from the perspective of walking curbside restaurants, what we call. So people are expected to come here by walking, simply walking on the street, right? That's what we want to encourage in this line. And luckily, this is a dead-end road, at least as of now, right? So dead-end roads have less traffic, so people can walk a lot more, thereby enhancing the entire community and neighborhood aspect of life, right? So people can, you know, the cafe entry is shown in such way. And then right, if you go a little down, then you can see the resident and the guest car entry and car exit. And if some resident is just moving, walking into the building, that's what the blue line indicates, the pedestrian entry. And you can see the green thing, right? Security checkpoint. We made sure that people who are coming for the F&B space do not enter into the building premises, thereby making sure that it's safe. A similar barricade would be achieved, would be set up on the other side of the clubhouse also. It's not mentioned in the drawing, but it would be there. So those restaurant users do not come into the building, right? So, and again, we wanted to briefly discuss about the basement plan. We have done a small graphic of how sort of cars can move from basement one to outside to. And another interesting, important thing also which I want to mention. So the entire vehicular entrance into this building is directly into basement one, right? So you don't have to come to ground and again go each floor down. You directly come into basement one. So people who are in basement 4, you don't need to climb 4 basements up to reach the road. You just have to climb 3 basements. That's it. So I'll play a small graphic of how it's going to look. Yeah, the green. So essentially, yeah, you can see, right? The green is incoming traffic, and what are the golden line is outgoing traffic. And you see the ramps, upward ramp and the downward ramp. So a similar one if you are in the basement too. Okay. Does it play? You can see this. Again, I would say a simple, pretty well thought out traffic plan wherein people can easily come in, come out. You have one dedicated downward ramp and one dedicated upward ramp, so you don't need to get confused. So sort of a similar thing what we have repeated for each of the basement. It's sort of a self-explanatory thing. Let me go to the next one. Again, if you're on basement 3. So yeah, I've covered most of the aspects. So I've briefly told you, right, how the entire product, our audience research has, led the way into product design. So we really take pride in this style of working. So the product design has to be top notch and it should be done via the research. Like via who the customer is. We need to design for the customer and try to, sort of accommodate as many of the lifestyle features required. Not everything might not be possible, but do whatever we can within the constraints. So before I go on, I would lastly to give a brief about the clubhouse. I know most of the clubhouse features I've already covered in the lifestyle grid, but I'll quickly run you through so that in the clubhouse context it can be seen through. Clubhouse is 52,000 square feet and it's a G+5 clubhouse. This is how it's going to look. At the ground floor, you see the entire F&B space. We have made sure there's provision for 2 kitchens. So at each of the F&B space has their own kitchens. And at a later point of time, we'll be signing up the vendors. And then you see the entry clubhouse, entry lobby and entry space. That is exclusively for the residents. From the F&B, there is no access to that without crossing the security check. Somebody can cross the security check and get all the necessary approvals and come in if they're a guest or a resident. So this is a ground floor plan. And this is a first floor plan, pretty, I would say, simple and intuitive and elegant spaces, like very, so you get onto the first floor that you have a large banquet hall with pre-function area and sort of a outdoor, like a veranda balcony area. So this is you want to host any of your larger gathering, and again, we have made sure we gave it's not a kitchen, I would say, it's more like a pantry area, which is for your prepping. We will not allow people to cook here because there will be safety hazards and we're not supposed to. But yeah, they can do their plating and the pura pre-setup. Second floor is not mentioned because second floor is essentially the downward side of the pool and all the pool pump equipments and all of that. That's why it's not mentioned. So it's more like a utility space for the pool. But yeah, third floor is the pool. The sizes I've mentioned earlier. It's pretty, I would say it's one of the biggest for, the category of the product here. And then the fourth floor is, again, I've mentioned earlier, it's badminton court, indoor air-conditioned badminton court, 3 in numbers. People can book and use this facility. And then on the mezzanine level, on the 5th floor, you have indoor games, which is more like your TT and billiards and stuff like that. And it sort of overlooks into the badminton court also. And clubhouse car rooftop is simply a multi-sports turf, right? So that's your clubhouse. I thought I'll cover another important topic also. In fact, I'm planning to make a few, I would say, awareness videos on how the entire billing, metering, and frankly, the utility management aspect happens in our communities and mostly in most gated communities. So essentially, the 3 most important utilities are gas, electricity, and water. And in this community, all 3 are metered and prepaid meters. Matlab, you pay first, and as you use, the bill gets adjusted. So this is mainly done from the point of view that people do not free ride. Nobody likes if another member of the community free ride, and frankly, it's not even the right thing to do, and that will kill the entire maintenance of the building. So everything is prepaid meters, and of course, you can pay them online via the app, and it will give you alarms and all also when the balance is less. And another thing also I would like to point out is there is flat level billing and there is a common area billing also. So typically what happens, let's take the case of electricity, because this is most commonly used topic area, right? So electricity, what happens is every month the electricity department issues only one bill to the entire community. Let's say that bill is now 100 rupees. Now how that 100 rupees has to be collected from all the people in the community, right? How do we do it? So there are meters established at every flat. Let's say I'm flat number 501 and I've used, let's say some 10 units of power. So based on my meter will tell me exactly how many units I used. Whatever the rate of the unit into the quantity gives my bill. Now add the bill of all the people in the community. Let's say the government ka bill is 100 rupees, and when you add a flat level bill, which we call your flat level billing, which comes from the meter. So you are only paying what you are using when it comes to your flat billing, right? On top of that, now you have common area things. What happens in this common area things? All your corridor lighting, your lifts, your mechanical, whatever, pumps, equipments, clubhouses, lobbies, there is a lot of energy requirement for these things, right? So all of this gets divided by the number of flats, and people have to pay. So let's say 100 rupees ka bill, one single bill government has given. Based on the meters, all the flats ka billing happens some 80 rupees. The last 20 rupees is divided into all the flats and people have to pay that. Irrespective of, let's say now you have not used the flat. You are staying, you have gone for a tour for 2 months, right? In that case, your flat electricity bill will be 0 rupees because you have not used anything there, you're not going to pay anything there. I mean, there's no consumption, but you will get a common area bill. Right? So approximately the common area bill for electricity in the communities what you have handed over is roughly around 1000 to 1200. Again, this will depend from time to time when the energy prices change. So this is how it happens. So there is a flat level billing which purely happens as per your usage, which is, I would say, majority of the bill. And the minority of the bill comes from common area billing. People will have to pay because if you don't, then your property value is going to come down. So, and there are meterings for at a flat level, the gas, electricity, water, everything is metered. So you will be paying for what you use within the flat, right? Then pretty much I've covered my side or what all points I wanted to talk, and frankly the design thesis of Broadway, why we have designed it like this, and I'm very confident that we have delivered on the entire aspiration aspect, which is more like the look and aesthetic, and the functionality aspect also. By and especially the curtain wall has been a sort of a game changer for us. A very new concept, like how outdoor living was a super feature for us in the past. Now we went to version 2 where we have outdoor living plus curtain wall. So this is a small snapshot of the, I would say, the entire elevation of the building. It looks sleek, tall, close to, if I'm not wrong, the 50 floor tall buildings. So it will look like any modern day, urban skyscraper. So one more thing before I move on, I really wanted to thank you all so much for making this entire Broadway a giant success, and really frankly changing the sentiment of the entire market, right? And I feel very rewarded and happy. I mean, and really satisfactory that all the research what we have put in, you guys have greatly sort of validated that, and it feels really satisfying. So thank you all so much for making Broadway a giant success, and not just a giant success. You guys have changed the narrative of the Hyderabad real estate as well, right? Most of you know the narrative has been not so great over the last 1.5 years. So thank you so much. We have really lifted, you guys have really lifted the narrative of real estate. A lot of people have called and told me that, their footfalls and everything has improved post Broadway. So thank you all for that. So I thought I'll even share a little lighter moment, which online I just came across one small meme. I thought I'll share with you guys. It was kind of interesting. But before I move on, like, okay, the 1250 crore, we are happy in sales and all of that, but what exactly is this? So we thought we'll just bring out a little bit more perspective on what is that 1250 crore when it translates into the demographics. So we just made a slide, who are your neighbors? So if you look at the age distribution, this is what is age distribution. And if you look in the beginning, our research was mainly catered in the 30 to 45 segment, and most of our customers also happen to be in that age segment. So it's really satisfying to see that your research has come out right. Right, so that's the age distribution, and these are the list of companies from where most of the buyers are in the order. Amazon, say we have the highest number of buyers, then Microsoft, Apple, Deloitte, Accenture, Google, and BofA, Bank of America. So to give you a perspective of who your neighbors are and how this community is going to be like, right? So let me play a small meme. I thought, I really found it funny and I thought I'll share with you. But again, thank you so much for not just making Broadway a success, but lifting the entire spirit of Hyderabad real estate. Let me just play this.
ఎవ్వడంట నిన్ను ఎత్తుకుంది ఏ తల్లికి పుట్టాడో ఈ నంది కాని నంది ఎవ్వరు కనంది ఎక్కడా వినంది శూన్యరాయి ఉందేమో గంగధరికి లింగమే కదిలొస్తానంది.
Yeah, me on this. See again, I think real estate is a very, very big, part of the economy. In fact, if you actually see, close to 70% of the household income in our country, and particularly in the Telugu states, lies in real estate. And real estate doesn't mean just a builder. In fact, builder is I would say, a reasonably small percent, a small parameter in the entire big world of real estate. It's you, the customer, who is the biggest and the most important, part of real estate. So it's not just about Broadway, it's not just about sales and all. Okay, wo to chalta hai na, like it happens, it's okay. But I think what you all have done is really change the entire sentiment and spirit. Again, an industry which caters to so much amount of employment and contribution to GDP. In fact, the last quarter GDP numbers came out well because a huge performance improvement happened in the construction sector. We contributed 9.4% to the GDP growth last quarter. So thank you all, and welcome to ASBL family. Thank you so much. So that's it from my side. So before I move to the Q&A section, in case you have any doubts or anything, I'll just stop on the slide for a minute. There are sales managers. You can take their numbers and reach out to them in case you have any query or anything particular to your purchase or something like that. So now let's head into the Q&A part. Sort of, it's going to be a good real-time live interaction. You can scan the QR and you can type in your questions. I'll try to answer as many as them. I'll just be back in a minute. Perfect. So here comes the questions, but yeah, let's get started. So first question we have from Mr. Ratnadeep Ghosh. What is the payment options and duration of payments? What is the price list? Sir, you can check out these things on the website. It's clearly, you can go to the price section. We have mentioned all the details, but any other specific inputs you need, you can reach out to our sales manager. They'll be able to explain it totally in detail. Thank you. Next, we have Miss Neha. Is there a temple provision in ASBL loft? Yes, ma'am. We have a temple provision in ASBL Loft, but I'll talk about that detailedly in Loft project. In fact, we have a temple provision in Broadway also, but it's a provision. We'll see to it down the line what can be done. Next, we have a question from Mr. Arun. Any future projects? Sir, we are constantly evaluating options, right? So we are, seeing again. We intend to do more in the financial district area, and even north part also we are looking at. So we are exploring. Once we get any good opportunity, we definitely want to explore. But again, anyways, we are we are asset focused company, so we focus more on housing projects. But nevertheless, we keep evaluating various opportunities, right? Next, Mr. Sai Kiran. People are saying that your Broadway apartment is having high density compared to other apartments nearby. How do you take this? See, frankly, that's a good question actually. I'm glad that you asked. See, density is a consequence of the infrastructure of the space and the land prices, right? So when the land prices have reached very high, now builder can't make their business profitable by building less number of units. Naturally, if you're building less number of units, what happens? Then we have to go and build larger sizes. Right, and there is a huge supply of larger sizes any which way, right? So my logic is very, very simple. You look at all the major cities world over now, like in fact, when we did research, many people mentioned they love New York and Singapore. And what is the density of these spaces? Everything runs upwards of 10 FSI. Here what we have done is slightly less than that. So density is a sort of a but natural thing of urban life, great quality urban life. Now the question revolves, how do you plan well? Of course, density brings certain problems that you need to plan well. That is why if you look at Broadway, we have 52,000 square feet of amenity space. If you look at generally as per norms, we need to provide maximum of 50,000 square feet, or maximum of 50,000 square feet of amenity space is what we as a developer need to provide. But if you look at it in Broadway, we are providing close to 107,000 square feet. So in terms of your saleable area, that is 5.1%. So higher density will involve have more amenity space, very simple. So that is how we see it. So density is inadvertently, any big downtowns are going to be highly dense because the land price is high, and it gives you the great convenience of quickly going to your office. But you need to plan your amenities well, give more amenity space. We are giving almost double the amount of what is required in the HMDA norms. Right, so you plan that way, right? In fact, it greatly enhances the life. Imagine smaller communities. I'll tell you another problems like we have handed over, right? In smaller communities, there's no crash. Why? Because the crash vendor is telling my business will not run profitable because there are only 300 or 400 customers. It's getting very difficult to get good supermarket vendors. Why? Again, they're telling only 300-400 ka market, I will not make profit. So if there are more number of customers, it adds to the services. Now imagine the crash provider is not there. We can provide space, but if there's no service provider, how will your problem be solved? How will the entire childcare aspect be taken care? So I am in support of let the market lead it. If the market determines that this is what it needs, then we should be doing it. That's how I see it, right? Thank you. Next we have Ms. Sujana. Hello, great to see you. Hello, ma'am. Quick question, how much is the capacity of the big banquet hall? I'll just find out and get, but as far as I know, it's close to 200 to 250 people is what you can totally sort of accommodate, but maybe you can reach out to the CRM to get a detailed clarification of that. As long as it's on, I remember it's on 200, 250. Maybe I'll ask the team also to just find out in between by the time we finish this. But yeah, right, thank you. Next we have Mr. Mohana. What may come next to ASBL Broadway, which is showing empty land, right? Sir, I think maybe another apartment project or a commercial project might come. Again, that this is a highly coveted and the most sought after real estate neighborhood in the entire Hyderabad city. So I presume a lot of builders would be looking at opportunities in this area. So you can expect sort of a commercial building, office buildings or apartment buildings, right? Next, Mr. Ashwin, how the process would increase in the coming 5 years? Could you explain how you're able to give no pre-MI option? Huge plus point. I've not really understood your question, sir. How the process would increase? I don't know. Okay, but anyways, see again, the pre-MI option is something which we thought again, picking up from our user research. It would greatly make their entire, people wanted that comfort and financial flexibility of buying a home. When we did research, people were saying whenever we bought home until we get handover, it was really putting constraints on our budget and we don't even get to use the product. So that's how this idea of pre-EMI, we got it approximately, now it's close to 5 years. And we have given pre-EMI, we have processed pre-EMI payments monthly for now 4,000, I would say 57 customers. That's the number of customers to whom we have done it over the last 3-4 years. And many people have given great feedback on how it has helped their, ease up their home buying process. So we use it mainly to ease up the entire, sort of give more comfort in buying and ease up the buying process for our customers, right? Next, Ms. Akshita. What all facilities, amenities will be chargeable and the rationale behind it? What will be approximate charges apart from the monthly maintenance? A good question, ma'am, actually. We'll provide a detailed list, but I would say what all on top is your multi-purpose hall would be chargeable, right? And then your gym would be chargeable. And next, the play zone and play zone is free. And I would say what else is there which is chargeable? Gym, multi-purpose hall, swimming pool is free. Badminton courts all sports are free. But we'll release a detailed list on what we are chargeable, and that's a good question. And even the co-working space would be chargeable. What is the rationale behind charging? That's a very, very important question. Thank you for asking. See, what happens is we are giving the space, right? And you are paying for the club and amenities as a customer, you're paying for that. With that, the infrastructure gets built. Now, infrastructure alone is not sufficient. You need a service provider. Who is service provider? Matlab the person who is housekeeping, right? And there's electricity charges which gets used there. Let's say now your co-working space has got all the printing. Now, frequently all the printing and stationery equipment needs to be, maintenance, upkeep and all happens. That is why we charge it. And whenever we have not charged, actually in the beginning when we did not charge, later the community president came back and told that it hugely increased their, they were not getting sufficient money to run and upkeep these spaces. Thereby some of the spaces they couldn't upkeep and eventually it just disintegrated. So these charges again will not be some major amount, it will be minor. And it's mainly done to make sure the space survives. We as a builder are providing the space, but for the space to survive, it daily needs to be cleaned, machine ka oiling and all of that needs to happen. That is what this money goes towards, right? Thank you. And I'll ask the team to release a detailed list at a later point of time, right? As we know, it's a high rise, but how strong the glass window which can handle storm rails, which is rare though. Mr. Abhishek, I mean, this is all, so it is strong enough. There are consultants who are designing this for, by keeping all the safety standpoint, and there are like NBC codes, what we call National Building Codes, which give guideline on how this should be. So you can be rest assured that they're strong enough for any of those things it can easily handle these sort of situations, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Rohan, could you brief on how the cash flow would work and would be safe in a position, and would we be safe in a couple of years considering this market? Don't worry, sir. We as a brand, I keep in various podcasts also, we do a lot of financial closures. So we have good banking ties and good amount of our own money and equity to finance our projects. So you can be rest assured that from a cash flow standpoint, it's totally safe. Thank you. Next, any details on EV charges? Yeah, we are providing provision, right? We are providing provision for 5 car parks at each basement level. So you've got how many? You've got 4 basements. So at each basement level, we are providing space for 5 car parks to have EV thing. And the entire EV setup will be done by a third-party vendor. He will come and set up the equipment, and it will be like a pay and use sort of a facility, right? And it will be there at each basement level, right? Please throw light on ownership of F&B space after 2 years. It belongs to the community. Actually, it should have belonged to us, but I think there was some miscommunication. So in the best interest, we have thought, okay, it belongs to the community. So whatever rents come from that space will go towards the common area billing, and whatever minus amount is what people will be paying. It will go into the maintenance kitty, right? Next, Mr. Chekradhar, who will enjoy the rental income of supermarket, office space, salon, restaurant? It's the community only, the RWA, Resident Welfare Association. For first 2 years, we enjoy it because it's during the maintenance period. After the first 2 years, it's handed over to the RWA, that is Resident Welfare Association. Then RWA will get the right over that, right? Next, Mr. Rohan, are you doing any villa projects? No, sir, not as of now. However, we are evaluating options. If at all anything like that is there, we will intimate our customers. But currently, we are not looking at that. We are just exploration phase, I would say. Thank you. Next, Mr. Rohit. I had question on customer referral. I booked a flat and referred my brother, but reward experience is not good. Sure, sir, you can reach out to the CRM. They should be able to help you based on whatever is the condition. Thank you. Next, Mr. Sekar, Mr. Jayasri, Ms. Jayasri. When is the position the clubhouse is open for all, not only buyers? Why billing is paid by owners? I'm interested in ready move. Sure, ma'am. There are a lot of ready to move in properties in the neighborhood. You can check out online and you can select the one whichever suits your need. Right? Possession, it's in December 29. Right? Thank you. Next, this also answered. Next, Mr. Mohana. Can you explain the logic behind parking space allotment? See, again, with parking, we have traffic consultants who frankly do the technical aspect of parking design. But, it's designed in such a way that from where you park your car, it's closest to the corresponding lift bay. So again, we have to make sure that, there's a priority order which they follow. And then iske hisab se parkings get designed. And frankly, it's not, it has never been of a major pain point for anybody. It has sort of been done with a particular logic in mind, right? What is the confidence level to finish? 100%, you can be rest assured, right? Next. Kiran, do you have any plans to launch venture in Tellapur and around areas? Not anything as of now, sir. However, we do look for, we do evaluate various things which come to us, but nothing currently active, I would say, right? Next, Mr. Jayesh, will we have to pay separately for using banquet space, creche and guest rooms? Yes, banquet space you will have to pay because there is a good amount of housekeeping and all of that involved post and pre the event. And there's some small breakage. If there's a major breakage, there'll be a penalty charge, but sometimes after 1-2 years, some small level of works keep happening. For that money goes. Creche, yes, you'll have to pay to the service provider. We are giving the space for the creche. We are not running the creche business. The creche business will be run by a creche company. Whatever they charge, you will have to pay. And guest rooms, yes, guest rooms are also chargeable. And this money after the first 2 years goes to the RWA. In fact, all these payments after the first 2 years go to the RWA, right? Next, Pawan. Also, after handling over the apartments, what's the max time frame all amenities will be ready and running? See, the way we are planning to finish all the amenities by 2029. But however, in the agreement, we have put a 6-month grace period because you see, a span of 5 years is a long time and anything can happen. Sometimes elections come, there are labor shortages and all of that. But we intend to finish all by that time. But in case it slips, it might slip by 6 months, which is mentioned in the agreement as a grace period, right? Next, Mr. Vijay Kumar, are there any new projects around Kukatpally or KPHB? We have one project, sir, Landmark. If you're interested, you can check it out. Yeah, that you can. Apart from that, we are not doing anything there in that micro market, but you can check out Landmark. It's right in that Kukatpally vicinity. Government power bill has different slabs according to the usage, how it is divided according to the flat. See, again, I've mentioned, right, whatever is a bill which comes, depending on whatever the community, if there's a 100 rupee bill, that logic of how it gets divided, I've mentioned. From your meter, you pay for your house, the rest will be divided across all flats. It's frankly a simple process and it's a well quantified process, so you would know it when it's happening, right? And everything is done through the app. Mr. Pradeep, how much appreciation can be expected by time of... See, I don't like to get into speculative questions, sir. But however, one thing I can add, there's a lot of employment, which is IT sector employment, which is happening in this area because of all the leasing which is happening. And then there are a lot of F&B places which are come up. Frankly, F&B spaces usually premiumize the entire real estate. There are a lot of clubs and restaurants which have come up in this financial district and a lot more planned. So definitely it's going to appreciate a lot more. And with metro coming in, it'll just going to, you know, do much better, right? However, I would recommend you do your thorough research so that you will feel confident with the purchase, right? Next, Mr. Sai, what will be rush hours waiting at lobbies for lifts? What will be the time to reach the 50th floor? This may be at a later date down the line, ROTCs I can cover, sir. Today it's frankly too preliminary, but yeah, later at maybe the next ROTC next year we can cover that once we are closer to the handovers, right? Next, is ASBL's construction quality on par with competitors? Yes, sir, it's totally on par. You can be rest assured. We do a lot of quality checks. In fact, the highest number of quality checks, and we have the highest per square foot deployment of engineers in the country, not just in Hyderabad. All our working cadre is minimum diploma or BTech civil, qualification. We don't have any non-technical people. Everybody, whoever is working on site, apart from the laborers, are all qualified professionals. Either they have a diploma or a BTech civil engineering degree. And all the quality team also has a BTech and civil engineering degree. So we have well qualified professionals. So you can be rest assured about the entire quality. And we have a lot of quality checks done through our own tech and app. So we thoroughly follow the entire process, right? Next, Mr. Kuldeep, what's the plan for Big Basket, Blinkit, F&B door deliveries? It's hard to come from higher floor to pick them from gate. Please. In fact, sir, most of these communities currently these quick commerce and e-commerce vendors are coming to the flat and delivering. They're not delivering near the security. They're coming to the flat and delivering the goods, right? So that shouldn't be a problem. And in the basement, we are even planning to give certain parking dedicated for the bikes of the quick commerce, the logistics people, so that they can easily park and do. But yeah, so that's not they will be delivering at your home, which is what they're doing all across the communities, right? Next, Mr. Rajesh, when will be the flat owner will be liable to pay utility? After registration or from the time of occupancy certificate? See, from the time you take possession, you will be paying, right? So naturally, you have taken possession and you are using the electricity for your interiors, you will have to pay that, right? It's power which you are using. So after taking the possession, you will be paying the electricity charges, right? Gaurav, Broadway looks and feels like a premium project, needed some clarity on flooring, tiles and sizes. So the details of this is mentioned in the specifications section of the website, sir. Maybe the team can put the link, or you can simply type ASBL Broadway and go to the specification section. It's detailedly mentioned there and much more in greater depth, right? Thank you. Unfortunately, we all got to know that all your units were sold out and only available after 40th floor. Sir, yeah, I mean, we've got a great reception for the project, but yeah, unfortunately, that will, that what that means is the availability would be lower. Yeah, I presume most of those units are sold out. I'm again not at a unit level, it's not on top of my mind, but if that's what the sales team says, then I think the inventory wouldn't be available. Thank you. Next, Mr. Ram, why only BHFL accepts for pre-MI scheme? I prefer whole. That's a good question. See, basically this entire pre-MI scheme, it's designed in such a way, if you look, BHFL is our financial partner for the construction finance, right? When we did the financial loan closure, BHFL is the lender who helped us, the lender who's our partner in the construction finance. So it is the entire pre-MI is structured with that entire financial package. So because we are able to do that, the costs are also reasonable for us to give this feature to the customers. So hence it's a feature which we and BHFL are together doing it. That's why it's only possible with BHFL, right? Next, being NRI, when I ask feedback about buying in Hyderabad, people only talk about major players. What would be your strategy to sue yourself to be on top? See, I can see this event itself is one of that. Our approach has been that we connect with customers and sort of put out our viewpoint and even learn from the feedback and even listen to their feedback. In fact, a lot of things have helped us. Like, in fact, the entire product design, as I've mentioned through most of my presentation, actually came by doing focus group research study on various of our customer cohorts, right? So we are a customer first brand. So we pick the user needs and sort of build product. Again, this does not mean that we will solve every customer's use case. It doesn't work that way. But we try to, we try to solve as many as whatever is possible within that constraint. So we're a very customer first brand, including this event where I'm directly getting connected to the customer. So that's our way forward, right? Next, Ajay, to what extent are the floor plans Vastu compliant? We are 100% Vastu compliant, sir. But however, with Vastu, one thing I'll say, there's a good amount of Vastu which is subjective, right? So which some particular person and their probably Purohit might see a certain way. So there might be different point of views, but from our angle, we are 100% Vastu compliant, right? Next, I see most NRIs are interested in this project. Is there any provision for rentals, or it has to be done at individual flat basis? See, currently we do not offer any rental management, but however, we are sort of working towards it. And given that the handover is almost 4.5 years away, once we build a service line, we would be reaching out to our customers in case they want to opt for. But currently we don't. We are planning to, pick use cases as as we go forward. In case that happens, we will intimate you. Thank you. I'm an owner in ASBL Spire, and I'm just here to say that being owner, I believe I'm here to thank you for giving a really good and well-planned infrastructure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next, Sam, any upcoming pre-launch projects for investors? No, sir. We don't have any upcoming pre-launch for investors, and frankly, we have moved away from the pre-launch model because laws also have become tightened, and frankly, our balance sheet is big enough that when we buy land, we have our own equity, and then we have financial institutions who partner along with us. So we have moved away from the pre-launch one-time payment sort of offers and schemes, right? Next, Mr. Rajesh, final product will be looks like exactly same as what you have shown. Yes, sir, 95% it should be same. Plus there would be a margin of error plus or minus 5% because at time of construction, there should be some plus or minus changes, but 95% you're looking at a similar one, right? Based on your analysis, how will the market around financial district look like in next 5 years? By the time Broadway is ready for handovers, will there be an oversupply of units? See, again, supply is something which we do not control, right? But what definitely we can control is the product experience. And my thinking is, if you give a great product to your customer, this will naturally be far higher valued than any of your competing products. One thing I can say from our brand perspective, for the next 5 years, we intend to be there in this area for, at least not just 5, for the 10 years. We see this area as a major growth area for our company over this decade. So I can definitely say that we are committing a lot more capital to this area. We are very bullish about it. But again, nevertheless, supply I do not control. But great product experience is something which I can control and which we are trying to deliver through our projects, right? Next, Mr. Hari. Have you started a new trend in real estate by keeping things transparent? You're doing a lot of research, taking customer feedback and implementing them. Thank you and wish you a great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you again. As even as the competition increases, you got to innovate and come up with new ways. And frankly, I got to learn a lot by speaking to customers. Again, maybe everything I cannot do, but a good number of things we can. Like co-working and all was not my idea. Something which I learned from my Spire and Spectra customers. So thank you so much. Yeah. And I also see the sector also over the next 20 years, not even the next 20 years, actually by 2032, just to share some statistic, currently we are 8.5% of the national GDP. The country's GDP is 4.5 trillion, 4.3-ish trillion dollars, and we are 8%. Over the next, one second, that's a fly, yeah. Over the next 7 years, we are going to double our GDP to $8 trillion, and the share of construction sector is going to 15%. So it means we are quadrupling our share in the GDP, right? So it means a lot is going to happen in the real estate sector, and we sort of want to be pioneers of the next 10-15 years of this sector. So we are just trying to come up with new approaches, and thank you for the feedback. Ms. Sivani, hello sir, I wanted to understand why ASBL would want terrace access to property indefinitely after handover as per the maintenance. Maybe I would recommend, I'm not really aware, ma'am, you can cross check. We don't want any access to terrace. The terrace also belongs to the community members only, and there are no amenities on this terrace. So hence it's locked for security purposes, and the maintenance staff and crew use it for all the whatever maintenance works. A lot of piping, and good part of the terrace, there is a mandatory solar panels what we have to put. So whatever is all the MEP or the piping and MEP stuff happens on the terrace. We do not have any ownership of that. The terrace is a lock and key thing which will be managed by the FM and the RWA, frankly. So we do not have ownership of the terrace, right? It belongs to the community. With just one entry point into the community, isn't it a concern for 885 residents? No, sir. Again, the traffic consultant has seen through the entire thing. And again, given whatever is the constraints, this is the best what has been suggested. And the traffic consultant designs various malls, IT buildings, a lot of things. They have great experience in this. In whatever is the constraints possible, this has been the best design what they have come up with, right? Next, Mr. Ashwin. When would we be able to finish 50th floor slab, as that's when the pre-MI stops, right? Previous question was about prices. Any research has been done on neighbors' prices 5 years down the lane? See, we do our internal research, and I do not want to put out our data out because it might be seen speculative. However, I would recommend you do the research independently. You can go to the RERA website where you have a lot of supply data, and you can scrape the internet, typically YouTube and general Google, which will give a lot of information on a lot of office leasing or those sort of things. You can build up your own equation. See, the 50th floor slab, I'm not really on top of my mind, but I think we do provide in the booking application, right, team, tentative dates. I think somewhere in the booking application process or the cost sheet we do provide tentative dates. I would recommend you look at, you check it out. But yeah, the EMI stops once the 50th floor slab is done, right? Thank you. Now, anonymous, why there is no warranty on the building in case of something happens? See, I think the warranty and these sort of things, whatever are mandated by the law, those would be there. I'm not really particularly aware of the legality and whatever the nitty-gritty of it. But whatever the government law recommends, that would be covered, right? Next, Mr. Jayesh. Next question. What about fire safety, since this is one major risk, fire rise? Again, sir, if you look at the entire approval, so before taking RERA, we take sort of a provisional NOC from the fire department by submitting all our designs, which should be in compliance with the fire, whatever firefighting requirements and norms. All these rules are covered in great detail and in some of the design documents, like whatever the government recommends, and then the government only vets the entire thing, the fire department to be very precise, and they do give a provisional NOC. Only after that we can get RERA. And even after handing over, before handing over, we get a fire OC. Matlab, we again go back to the fire department. They come to the premise, do a physical checking of the entire fire system, whether it's as per the compliance provided, and then they'll give an occupancy certificate, which also we'll publish to you closer to handover once we have it, right? So you can be rest assured that whatever is the government norm and mandatory things they have put in, all those design standards have been met. That's why we got the NOC, and tomorrow we'll even get the OC also, right? Considering this one as the luxury products, can ASBL look into providing a dedicated EV point for each flat in the parking slot? This will encourage the people. Actually, we would want to, but the problem is the laws are not really clear. Whether can we, there are some laws which are contradicting that. In basements, we can't do that because of fire hazard and safety. So the laws are not yet clear. So hence, we have taken a stand not to give that. Maybe in future, once the laws get clear, in future projects we can do. Here we can't because the designing is already done. The necessary approval work is also already done. Frankly, at a pan-India government level, the policy has to come out. That's still very vague and does not have much clarity. That's why we are not able to do it, right? Next, Mr. Prashant. How is the sewage and trash being managed? See, there's an STP, right? All the sewage water goes into the STP, and then that filters all the, that sort of filters the water, and the treated water will be used for watering purpose of all the plantation and even your flush tank ke liye. So thereby we become more sustainable in terms of water usage. Next, trash. Beside the service elevator, we are putting a floor level. There, a floor level trash collection. Big bins will be there. People are expected to dump their trash in that, and the housekeeping staff continuously cleans that as per their cleaning schedule. Right. Next, Sandeep. The current back-to-back parking slots are very inconvenient, as one car blocks the other. In daily use, this causes a lot of issues. Can this layout be changed to allow independent? That's a good question. Thanks for asking. See, the problem with this is when we remove the back-to-back car parks, now what happens? Then the number of basements drastically increase, 70% to be very precise. So instead of having 4 basements, you'll end up having close to 6 to 7 basements, which will hugely increase the cost of the apartment for you. Closely, if I may put the rough estimate, 600 rupees per SFT is the cost of building per SFT, no, not 600, sorry, 1000 rupees per basement, it's what it costs us, right? That will almost translate into, when we do it at an apartment level, people will have to pay close to 600 rupees per SFT more, which frankly doesn't make sense from a car standpoint. So hence this design is the most sustainable, keeping all the constraints in mind, right? And 6 to 7 basements also would make it really unpractical for people to move in and out. So the back-to-back parking solution is the best given all the constraints, right? Thank you. Hi, Ajitesh, thank you for sharing info on Broadway. How would the glass wall be maintained, and would be an example? Sure, sir. The glass walls, right? The curtain walls would be maintained by the housekeeping. There'll be specialized staff or a vendor whom we will give the contract to. And it will be part of your maintenance budget only. You don't have to pay anything extra. In case there is a sort of a fund shortage for that, because again, this is all service centric. If the prices increase, there might be adjustment in the maintenance post it moving to RWA. But until we are there, whatever we charge in the agreement, that itself is final. So it will be done part of the maintenance budget, and it will be done by a specialized vendor, which closer to the, once we hand over, we'll be sort of finalizing these vendors, right? Next, Ms. Sandeep, how will lightning impact towers? Is there any study done? Will there be a... Yeah, see, all the towers come with lightning arresters, right? So there will be a lightning arrestor placed on top of all the towers as per the design provided by the electrical consultant. And for earthing ke liye, that whatever that, a copper strip or something, whatever that, I don't know the particular material, but right from the terrace, wherever it's placed, till earthing ke, until it meets the earth, that entire, whatever that, wiring or that sort of work is done. It's all done as per the compliance with the electrical design, and it's this is taken care of, right? Next, Mr. Vamsi, quick suggestion. Can you think of providing parcel courier delivery room facility with lockers in respective towers, so that if residents are not in home, they can deliver in that place? Sure, sir. I'll take the suggestion. I'll see what best can be done. Thank you for the suggestion. What about road in front of Broadway? We still see no road in front of ASBL Spire, but earlier it was promised by the time. I don't know from where or who told you that the builder has promised a road. I'm a builder, I'm a private entity, road belongs to the government, right? If the road is going from the project land, that aspect of the land, I need to gift deed to the government. The government executes the road, and it doesn't just execute the road in front of our building, they'll have to execute the entire road. No builder can promise you a road. In case, even if any of our team members also by mistake suggested, please, I'm telling you directly from horse's mouth, we do not take charge of any road. We cannot. It's not my property, it's the government's property. So road is not our thing. Whatever land we had to gift deed to the road, we have gift deeded. That's why we got the approval. When the government puts the road, it's purely depending on the government, right? So whoever probably told you on Spire, that is wrong. And not only in case of Spire, wherever in Hyderabad you're buying real estate, if somebody is telling, I'll get you the road, please don't go for it. Nobody can get you the road. The government gets the road. A builder is, can't do that on their things, right? Right. Next. Is F&B space only for residents and their guests open? It's open for outsiders as well. We have done that because in our research it clearly came out that if it's only for residents and their guests, the business are going bankrupt because they do not have enough customers. So this will be open for outsiders also, and there are good amount of apartments coming in that area. So good business will happen for these guys so that they stay there. If they don't stay, then essentially the space dies, right? So it is open for outsiders. How does your construction quality compare? I've already answered this question, ma'am. Next, if in case there's any maintenance within my flat, power, water leak, etc., do we have to go with your preferred vendors only? Maybe this we can get, I can answer it closer to the handover. Frankly, we are 4.5 years away. Maybe closer to that I can answer because the policy, I'm not really on top of my mind what it is today, right? Why not ASBL villas? I'm an NRI looking for a premium builder constructing a villa. I only see a couple of major players in the villa market. Sure, sir. We will look into it. But predominantly that's not a product category. But having said that, we are evaluating, a few options like that in very early stage. But if anything like that comes, we will reach out to you. Thank you. Next, can you please talk about glass specs, heat resistance, UV protection? So this maybe you can reach out to the CRM team for technical specifications. I'm not really aware of them, not on top of my mind. Maybe the engineering team can provide, right? Hope the top floor pair are highest pair. So in ASBL, is there any special treatment for top floor for heat reduction? Yeah, see on top, we do sort of, we put like, heat resistant paint on the terrace. We paint the entire terrace with heat resistant paint. That will reduce the heat to some extent. But yeah, I mean, whatever, again, all of these things are covered in the norm. Whatever in the norm, we do that, right? Next, can you explain how many lifts per floor, regular and service lifts? Sure, sir. Again, this is clearly mentioned in the plans section of the website. There are 5 passenger lift and 1 service elevator, right? Any dedicated parking for curbside F&B space or only walking is preferable? See, as per the design, it is designed only for walking customers only. But however, at a later point of time, if the RWA, that is the Resident Welfare Association, feels that it would be more encouraging for the F&B player if they give some parking, they can look into that aspect. But at least from our standpoint, we designed it purely as a curbside F&B, so it's expected to be accessed only via walking, right? Next, Mr. Vishal, as ASBL is growing, please have and publish a service level based escalation management, as it will help to concern understanding key themes. Sure, sir. You can reach out. I mean, we have a well-functioning CRM team in place. You can reach out to them. But however, we'll try to we'll keep innovating on how to make things better, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Sandeep, is both drinking and usage water available 24/7 at Broadway? If yes, how is it supplied? Also, is there power backup provision for each flat? Yes, there is a 100% power backup provision for each flat. In case there's a power cut, the generator gets switched on automatically, and then it will supply power for all the flats. Like you can even run your AC or whatever you're doing in your flat, it can 100% power backup. Regarding water, see, the water will be supplied by major amount of water will be coming in via the piped water connection, which we will be applying for after getting occupancy certificate, because that is the procedure. After we get OC, we have to apply to the Metro Water Board, and they will lay the pipeline. Majority of the water comes through the piping system, the piped water, and some amounts of it will come from the borewells as well. In case these two are not sufficient, then sometimes people buy from the water tankers. That's pretty much the usage spectrum, right? But majority is expected to come from the piped water connection. And this area, I believe, has a piped water connection. So, that sort of takes care of most of the issues. Next, Anonymous, is it true that access to basement 3, I don't have to go through basement 1 and 2? No, you have to go through basement 1 and 2, right? I've shown up in the plan. There is a ramp, circular ramp. You just go in concept, like in the same circles until you reach basement 3. You can go there. I've shown it in the plan as well, right? What should a first-time real estate investor look for when making a purchase? ROI if someone looks for the rent. What kind of return on investment can one expect if investing? See, if you are treating real estate from a investment standpoint, I wouldn't suggest really looking for rentals, because rentals in housing is what, like 3%, right? 3% rental return, and property appreciation, let's take 7%. 10% return, I would say if you're in like probably 30s, it's a low return. I wouldn't recommend you to invest in residential real estate for rents. In fact, I would suggest in such case, you can buy REITs or invest in commercial real estate, which will give you more like 12, 13%. In residential real estate, you can make decent money by flipping homes. I've spoken about this on various platforms. We will send that content to you so you can detailedly see it, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Rishikesh. Any solar system by using curtain wall glass as panels for common area energy usage, common area charges as per SFT or equal distribution? No, sir. The glass facade is not a solar panel. We do not do it. In fact, nobody has been using much in the country because the cost of that is extremely high. It wouldn't make it wouldn't make any viable sense. So hence we don't do it. Right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Rajesh, customizing the unit is possible, or we need to go with standard provisions like sinks, kitchen islands, cabinets, bathroom vanities, flooring tiles, granites? Sir, you cannot break or change any of the floor plans. However, closer to the unit, we will come up with a detailed, document on what you can do, what you cannot do. We have been doing that in every project closer to handover. It will have all your do's and don'ts from a safety and technical aspect standpoint. You can do it, you can read that, and whatever the document allows, you can do that. But any major changes regarding, you can't touch the walls, even tiling chipping also has created a lot of problems where people end up chipping the slab little too much, because see, frankly it's not in your control, right? You give it to some interior contractor and it's last mile executed by a laborer. What if he chips the slab beyond a certain point? It will greatly put you and your other residents at risk. So we do not allow any chipping activities, right? But however, closer to the handover, we will give a document clearly which says all the do's and don'ts, right? And I would strongly recommend people to comply from a safety standpoint, not just for your family, for all your neighbors, and for the welfare of everybody. You don't want to get into any crazy situation, any bad situation, right? Next, Mr. Sunil. Yeah. Any demographic detail of your purchaser? Are there a significant number of North Indians to make my mind to buy a unit? Yes, sir. I've in fact published the details. From an ethnicity standpoint, yes, we have not published, but I would say roughly 35 to 40% of the customers who are Indian-based customers, right? We have NRIs also. Most NRIs are Telugu people, but to our Indian-based customers, we have a good 40% who are North Indians. Right? And regarding the age groups, I've already presented earlier. When we publish the video online, you can cross-check that, right? Thank you. Is the glass wall heat resistant? See, I think maybe the technical details, you can reach out to the CRM team. Maybe that will be a better, they'll be able to take it from the engineering and better answer that. I don't think, whatever is again as per the norm, it would be there as per that, right? Thank you. Is home automation available? Yeah, while doing interiors, you can do home automation. We do not give it, but yes, home automation is totally allowed. You can do it with your interior vendors. Can you please explain the VRF systems which are provided? See, again, with the VRFs also, we are giving the space for VRFs. Now, why are we doing this? Because again, as per the norms and all, in high-rise towers, you don't get sufficient cooling by the typical AC systems. That is why VRF systems are recommended, and again they're energy, much more energy efficient and sustainable also. So we are simply giving the space provision for VRF. Whichever vendor, whichever brand you would like to go, you can go ahead during your interior timing, right? And your flat ka VRF space is clearly mentioned in the the tower plan and all, it will be mentioned. In case you want more clarity on which exactly is that space, you can reach out to the corresponding CRM or the sales team. Regarding the vendor, you can select any vendor of your choice and your brand, right? Next. You have glass walls in a kid's bedroom. How safe is it? It's totally safe, sir. Again, it is kept, it's designed as per the safety standards mentioned in the National Building Codes. And you can be rest assured that it's totally safe, unless somebody takes I don't know, maybe take a really shoot the glass with multiple rounds of bullets, then it will break. But on a typical course of action, nothing is going to happen. It's as safe as any buildings world over what you see, and they're clearly mentioned in the government NBC norms also. So you can be rest assured about its safety and strength, right? Thank you. Both the 26 floor plan, 2650 floor plan is really well planned, but the dedicated puja room space seems like a second thought in the half bedroom. Yes, sir. Basically, after designing with all the constraints, we could see that the maximum experience of the floor plan was able to come out only under this plan. We did multiple iterations, wherein if you sort of if you put the puja room as in the main area, a lot of area was getting killed in the living room. So after doing multiple iterations, this is what we thought was the best from a experience standpoint, right? Next, Mr. Arun, feedback: common washroom would ease the access of visitors who visit home. I would say, yeah, in the 2650 unit plan, there is a common washroom. In the rest, we don't have common washrooms because, again, majority of the customers have preferred attached bathroom. Hence, we have gone with that. So sort of we had to take what was the more number of people opting for. Yeah, but in the larger one, because the half bedroom could be used as a kid bedroom or an extra bedroom or frankly any other space, so we had to give a common washroom, but rest it's attached. But however, I'll take this feedback over the next set of projects, depending on the customer, I would say, trend and expectation. We can change in the future projects, but not in this. It's already designed. But yeah, frankly, in the design phase, a lot of people opted for attached toilet. That's why we have given that, right? Thank you. Next. Done. I think pretty much we're done with all the questions. Yeah. Are there dual inlets, water inlets in the kitchen? No, sir. I think the kitchen has one water inlet. But however, you can, yeah, I remember you have one water inlet, not dual water inlets. But however, I would recommend you reach to the CRM team and they'll probably give the right detail from the engineering team regarding the number of water inlets. But as far as I remember, it's one water inlet. In the kitchen and in the utility, you have, I think, whatever house case design says, say multiple water inlets. Right, I'll maybe just stay for another couple of minutes. If there are any questions, I can answer. If not, we can call it. Right, I think pretty much that's it. So thank you so much. It was really great connecting with all of you in this manner. It's a lot more convenient. I understand a lot of you have attended this from different parts of the world, and I've shared our side of the story of why we have designed Broadway this way and what are the lifestyle requirements we have taken. I really enjoyed connecting to you. Thank you so much, and namaste, and welcome to ASBL family. Thank you.